Most founders think that they're up to speed with AI, but what I'm seeing is that the real gap is forming somewhere else entirely. Not between people who use AI and people who don't, but between founders whose AI actually understands their business and founders whose AI is super generic and basically just guessing. Here in Pretty Talent, we use AI every single day. All of my team have their AI instances. I work with a lot of founders, helping them with AI, and I see the pattern across all of that is that the founders who load their AI with real context, with their exact processes, with their client data, are pulling ahead at the speed that most people just won't catch up to. And in this video, I'll give you a clear, simple roadmap for the next 30 days that will help you turn AI from a tool that you occasionally just play with in your business into a real operational advantage inside of your company. No hype, no silver bullets, just the exact steps to plug in your business knowledge into AI so your team gets the leverage of an entire extra department. So let's dive in. I see this over and over with the founders that they think that they actually use an AI, that they're like AI first company because they have ChatGPT. But in the reality, they only use it to like generate generic copy or generic text, or maybe they figured out how to use some custom GPTs, but they never actually make it theirs. You see, there's a big problem right now with the AI is that it basically eliminates the competitive advantage right now because all of the competitors of yours, they got access to the same tools that you do. And the problem in here is that whatever you are doing with generic AI, they can do as well, and vice versa, basically, right? So here is what I'm seeing is that people are not aware of how deep they can go with AI if they actually would provide it with the deep context on their company, something that AI will be able to take and run with this. Previously, one of the most important part with AI was prompt engineering. It's like writing prompt. Imagine that you are you are this super genius business owner, whatever it is, and you need to generate me like plan, whatever it is. But right now, it's not the name of the game anymore, as far as I can see. Right now, much more important is the data, is the context that you give to your AI. Because you can tell it to pretend that whoever it is, you can like give structured approach, you can ask it to break down with like the sources, all of the other stuff, but it doesn't matter if it doesn't behave as your internal employee, as somebody who knows your company in and out. And that kind of leads to this not moral dilemma, but a thought that a lot of entrepreneurs have is that their data is proprietary and they need to like handle it, right? And here's what I'm seeing from my conversations with entrepreneurs is that they are deeply afraid from giving AI context on their business because they thinking that AI will steal it, repurpose that, and so on. So first of all, you can turn off the learning inside of the ChatGPT. So if you go to your ChatGPT or any other model, if you click on your profile settings and then if you go to data controls, you need to turn off that. So improved model for everyone. This is where AI like ChatGPT will actually use your data, your proprietary data, in order to improve the algorithm. So you might want to turn that off, and that would prevent kind of your data getting out. But even then, a lot of entrepreneurs are still afraid that again AI will just use this data. You need to choose for yourself what to do. Whether you want to stay afraid and not utilize AI to the full capacity and see how your competitors take off with a risk of their data getting exposed, or just go full speed ahead with AI and provide it with everything, provide it with all of the materials that we'll discuss in this video later. So if you know that you are not comfortable with sharing your company information, with sharing your processes and thinking that again it will get out, then you can stop this video right now because the rest of the video will be over delivering and over sharing to the AI to ensure that it actually generates something really good for us. So you as a founder of the business, you as the business owner need to understand that all of the businesses around us right now, they become data first businesses. This is so important, is that you need to collect and store all of the data that you got in your business, about your services, about statistics, about KPIs, about everything that can be measured. You need to figure out a way to store all of that. You need to build a system that would empower you to collect this information. You need to build an internal SOP for the team members to populate reviews, populate all of the metrics metrics, all of the data, everything about your company in a structured way, and then using this data with AI. This is where you will see AI giving you something really actionable, something that you can just take and run with it, something that you can actually implement in your business, not just like a very generic thoughts that AI can give you or generic recommendations that are not tailored to your business. I see this over and over with the founders that I help with AI implementation in their business, is that they think that AI cannot be super useful because it's very generic all the time. And the problem with that, with what they're seeing, is that they are not given enough context. Once you fix the context part, once AI actually understands your business, you will see the result will just skyrocket. It will give you the exact blueprint, the exact map on how to fix something in your ad campaigns, how to fix something on your landing page, how to write a VSL that will actually work for your business and not just a generic copy. Okay, so here's the actual examples of the knowledge collection in your business that you can implement right now and start it within your very first week by working with AI, right? So first thing that I recommend you to do if you are not doing that yet is record all of the calls that you have. I'm not only talking about the sales calls or the calls with leads or the calls like check-ins with clients. All of this should be recorded for you by default. I'm talking about even your internal calls. All of your conversations with your team members, they should be recorded, and not for the purpose for checking like it's sometime later, like what we actually discussed. No, you need that for the context, because now you will be able to utilize all of these recordings, all of these transcripts, and populate them in ChatGPT, in Claude, in Gemini, whatever you're using. In our case, we are using Phantom. Phantom is what allows us to collect all of the calls, all of the recordings, and I do it across, again, all of the calls that I'm in. So whenever I'm on a call with my EA, with my team members, with clients, I'm always recording, and then all of this information is what I can populate in ChatGPT if I want to generate something, right? In particular, that's super important with your sales calls. For example, one of the things that we've done in Party Talent is that we went ahead and populated the 50 calls of the leads that became clients later on, and asked AI to analyze all of the insights, all of the actual words, keywords that they mentioned, all of their pain points that they addressed within the call, so we can learn our customer better. We can understand what they're mentioning, like missing follow-ups or lost opportunities, processes and system gaps, lack of time that they mentioned a lot because they don't have an executive assistant yet, or overall overwhelming the administrative work, right? And you will see that this doc is huge, right? And the reason why it's huge and why it's so useful is because it based on our actual data. Like imagine 50 calls, 45-minute calls multiplied by 50. This is what you can populate in AI and get insights that are super, super strong for you. And as you can see, this particular doc, for example, is a PDF, right? And that's exactly what you want. Because once you will go through this exercise, once you will populate like good calls, bad calls, calls where you had pricing objections, and so on, once you will populate all of that, run deep research. So you will use like ChatGPT deep research mode for that, populate all of the calls in there. Usually you will do that as like PDFs. And once you go through all of that exercise, the output of ChatGPT should be Canvas, and then you can download this Canvas as a PDF. And all of these insights, not just raw data, but the insights of processed data will go into your knowledge folder. So you will create a Google Doc or like Google Drive folder with all the knowledge materials, and have your team populate this on an ongoing basis. And this is what you will use as the knowledge for your AI. So next time, whenever you want to build Facebook ads campaign, whenever you want to build email campaign, whatever it is, you go ahead and use this doc as just one of your knowledge materials. So you ask AI, hey, help me write this email sequence to my clients that I want to follow up with, or whatever it is. And here are all of the objections, all of the data that you need to have about them, right? That will help AI to tailor the messaging and make it much tighter than you would get otherwise if you would just go with a generic approach. This is just one of the knowledge materials. Imagine what would happen, what a result AI would generate if you populate analysis of the calls, if you populate data about your target audience, about your clients, what is their age, what is their gender, what are their businesses, what are their social media profiles, what profiles they actually use. And you can populate all of that. You can have your executive assistant just go through the list of your clients and populate this for you in a doc. So now you will be able to tailor your marketing campaign, your email campaign, your messaging on the VSL and the landing page much tighter. So it actually will deliver results that you're looking for. So once you will start collecting all of this data, you will see endless opportunities on how you can use that. For example, one of my favorite one is using ChatGPT, and within ChatGPT building custom GPTs based on my data, right? So I can go ahead and build a GPT for my ads, right? So whenever I write ads, whenever I build campaigns, I can go ahead and populate that in here, and I can have all of the knowledge that we just collected uploaded in here. So for example, I had my EA go through all of the top Facebook ads videos on YouTube and all of the main articles about Andromeda and how all of that got like affected within the campaigns that you are building. And we uploaded that as a knowledge directly in our custom GPT. So now my custom GPT is not based on a generic advice on something random from the internet. It's been based on the exact knowledge materials that I'm providing to it, based on the sources that I trust, right? That I know that they have case studies, social proof, and stuff like that. So right now, the main name of the game is collecting data. So whenever you're buying a book, whenever somebody releases a book and like you are getting it, you want not a physical one, you want a PDF, because PDF is what you will go ahead and upload in your custom GPT. So now your custom GPT can actually help you to build something based on the knowledge from this book. Or even better, what you can do is get all of the different books, all of the different materials, have AI analyze the top things about them, top recommendations, top advices that these books have, and then use this condensed doc as your knowledge base. So this is what you're looking for within your custom GPTs, to not have it be based on a generic advice. So how to start implementing that on practice? So on the week one, what I recommend you to focus on is collecting context, collecting data of your business, not of other like recommendations, but of your exact business. Start with recording all of the calls and getting all of the recordings out and processing them. I recommend you to start specifically with the calls that you had that resulted in person becoming your client, because you want to replicate that success. You shouldn't care that much about the calls that you missed, even though we will use them as well. But the calls that became clients are the gold mine for you, basically, because you know exactly what they mentioned, what were the sources, what were the objections, if any at all. And that would help you to define your target audience better and then go after them more precisely. The second thing that I recommend to do are all of your internal calls. So all of the weekly strategy sessions, if you have them, or weekly town halls, all of these different things, populate them at one place. This is what will help you to go back to the information, go back to the ideas that your team had, so you'll be able to utilize them. Another thing that I recommend you to do is get the database of all of your customers. Remove all of the sensitive information like the last names, remove the email addresses, stuff like that. Keep the names, keep the LTV, which is like super important, lifetime value of your customer, because you want to better understand who your client base is, basically. So you'll be able to replicate the success that you already had in your business and just target them even more. After that, what I recommend you to populate is the deck of your offer. So wherever you're presenting your offer, what you got in this deck, what is going on in there, how do you structure that? That will help AI to understand what is actually being presented. Next thing that I recommend you to do is getting the screenshots and getting the copy out of all of your pages in your funnel. So here's exactly how you would do that. You will go to your landing page of your offer. Then where you have your whole page, first of all, I usually like to do a screenshot of all of that. So I do screenshot full page and just make a screenshot of the whole page. Once done, you will be able to download all of this as a PNG or basically a photo. So this is one long photo of your landing page. That's step number one. Step number two, just click Command A and copy everything. Now navigate back to ChatGPT, and in ChatGPT you will do something like this. Hey, I want you to output and structure the copy from my landing page based on the following raw copy. I'm also providing you a screenshot of the actual landing page where I copied this text from. So I want you to structure the output based on the sections and also describe approximately the layout. Then I will give it the raw text, and then I will give it the screenshot. So AI will be able to map the particular text to the screenshot, to the sections, and will understand that, okay, this is about that, right? And now you will see that it goes ahead and outputs us the exact copy of our landing page. So you will take that and you will save this as another PDF, and this will be your knowledge for AI. So AI will actually understand what is the landing page, what are the sections, what is your offer, because if your website is good enough, you already describe exactly what your offer is, what are the guarantees, what are the testimonials. So AI will be able to utilize this material. So you go ahead and get all of this material out, so you'll be able to utilize this in your future chats. Once you've done that, another thing that I recommend you to get out from your landing pages is VSL, right? So in my case, I'm using Vistia, so I will jump to Vistia real quick. I will then log in. And once you're in, you will have access to all of the transcript of the video right here, right? Another way that I usually get transcripts out of the videos is the following. You can go to your Google Drive where you uploaded your video. So let's say here is the video. Once I open this video up, not a lot of people know that for some reason, but if you go to the settings right here, you have transcript, and you can copy the whole freaking transcript of the video without having to upload it anywhere, run it through any other tools and so on. That is a gold mine. So all of the videos that you are making, all of the content, either for internal use, SOPs, all of that stuff, get the transcript out of that, and you will see how useful it is within your day-to-day work with AI. Another way I would like to give context to AI is by utilizing my content that I recorded before. So if you go to YouTube, get to the video that you would like to use, and then if you scroll down, click on the description here, scroll down a little bit further. In here, you have the same thing as in Google Drive. You have the show transcript button. Click that. You can just copy it manually, or in my case, I'm using vidIQ. It gives me the copy transcript button. So I can copy that and go ahead, create a new Google Doc by typing docs.new and just populate that as a transcript. So this is the knowledge that actually feeds AI, because in here I mentioned some ideas, I mentioned some things, I mentioned some, again, social proof, other stuff. I will be able to reuse that over and over and over again. You can also structure it using different tools. So for example, if you use NotebookLM or something like that, you can populate up to 50 links to the videos, and then NotebookLM by itself will be able to get the transcripts. And the reason for that is that NotebookLM is Google and YouTube is Google, so that's why NotebookLM has access to all of the transcripts. And that would also allow you to create a chart, create a tool specifically referencing the videos, referencing materials that you mentioned. Next thing that I recommend you to prepare in your data vault is all of your contracts. So contracts that you signed with the clients, contracts that you signed with your employees, and so on. That is something that you will be able to upload to your custom GPT as well, and then have it reference certain points. So whenever you're, again, wanting to create some promotion or something like that, I get this all the time where AI tells me that, hey, you actually cannot do that as per your agreement. And then again, it just keeps me in line with what we signed, what we promised to the clients as well. Next thing that I recommend you to upload to your AI is all of your SOPs. Everything that you got about your company, everything that your company basically is. If you don't have any SOPs in your company, I have a separate video on how to build SOPs using AI, how to do it much faster and much more efficient, but you need that. And previously you needed that so you would be able to give this as a playbook to your employees, right? So they will be able to follow the procedures that you pre-established. But right now, this is a goldmine for AI. So AI actually knows every step of your process. So in here, for example, we explain everything that we got in the company. Let's say 90-day SOP. So what happens once client reaches 90 days with us? How we structure the check-in calls, what are the review processes, and so on. So AI can now use this data in my ads. It can figure that based on analysis of our sales calls, based on our SOPs, and based on the best practices for the Facebook ads, it's very good to mention all of the onboarding and check-in processes. And then it will know exactly what are my onboarding processes and use them in my ad creatives. This is where you will see the actual powerful results whenever AI can cross-reference couple of different knowledge materials that you got in your company and craft something completely unique, craft something very strong that references them. Once you finish collecting all of the internal docs, I recommend you to go ahead and get materials that you are utilizing for your thought process. For example, books, frameworks, PDFs that you have that you usually reference, go ahead and populate them in your knowledge base as well. So you would have your internal materials and you will have external guidance, something that you rely on. So in a week 2, once you populated all of that, the second week should be focused on you getting to know how to work with AI using these materials. So start with building your custom GPTs. I have a dedicated video on building custom GPTs if you haven't done this before, but it's super easy, super straightforward. You basically create an instruction set and a knowledge set based on your company. And in the beginning, I just recommend you to populate all of the materials in one custom GPT. So you will be able to reference different areas, different departments in one custom GPT. But once you will have so much data that you will hit the limit in knowledge, which is 20, I believe, 20 files, then you would probably need to split this across different departments, right? So you can have your GPT for marketing, your GPT for sales, your GPT for VSLs, your GPT for website creation and stuff like that. And each one of them will be using different set of knowledge-based materials, right? So for your website one, you might want to populate the best practices for the user interface and user experience, then populate some of the best practices for the landing page design, some of the best practices for the VSL and the funnel design, and then your copy and your offer and your testimonials into the AI. So all of that will create this like very strong mix of knowledge that will allow you to generate highly powerful and highly converting landing pages quickly. You will just tell it, hey, I want this offer, create me the copy. You don't need to give it any more context than that because it already got all of the context, right? It already knows everything about you, about your company. That's scary. And at the same time, that's super powerful. So again, that's why I made the disclaimer that I made in the beginning of the video. If you're not comfortable, don't do that. But once you cross that line, you will see how much powerful AI becomes. Once you spend your second week working with AI, you will see that you don't need to be super mastering prompts anymore. You can talk with this like with your employee. You can tell it, hey, can you please find this call or find what are the top 3 objections from our clients are? Can you please find what are the pricing objections were and what our clients were comparing us to on the sales call? Stuff like that. You will be able to just talk with it. You need to be very good at prompting when you don't have anything to give to AI. You need to have persona, instructions, guardrails, all of the other stuff. But when your AI knows everything about you, knows about your company, each answer it gives is just gold. In the third week, what you will start doing, you will start giving access to this AI to your team members. You will give them a specific purpose. You will tell them, hey, here is a GPT, here is a link, and this is the point why you need custom GPT, is that you will be able to share it with somebody else. For example, for some of my chats, I can go with just using the same chat like in perpetual basis, but it backfires. Don't do it for too long, because if AI updates, you won't be able to update the chat version, stuff like that. It becomes a mess. And if you upload files, if you upload voice and stuff like that, ChatGPT will not allow you to share these chats outside. So that's why you need custom GPTs. And this is like one of my problems with some tools like, again, Gemini and Claude and stuff like that. Building custom GPTs and sharing them is much harder. It's like, if it's possible at all, because with Claude, for example, you can build projects that act kind of as custom GPTs, but you are having a hard time like sharing them with anyone. So first of all, I have all of my team to have access to the knowledge base so they can build their custom GPTs if needed, or their projects if they want to test like Gemini or Grok or something like that. But in majority of cases, we use custom GPTs that we built internally. Then what you will see once your team has access to your custom GPTs is that they will be able to be more independent and they will be able to move so much faster. And this is the point, is that AI emphasizes your team. AI is the leverage for your team. So now one employee that you got, one executive assistant that you got can build you funnels, build you ads, can send emails to the clients, can work on legal docs and stuff like that, because they have access to GPT that helps them to achieve that, helps them to move forward. So then you will realize that you are kind of an addict. You are a drug addict to data and context. Because if you get data and context and like this PDF, CSV files, everything that has this rich data, then you can do anything with AI. You can repurpose that, generate anything you want. You can write strong hooks. You can write scripts for your videos, whatever you want, because you have the context. You know how to empower AI to generate better results. And on week 4, what I recommend you to do is start implementing this AI, these GPTs, in your automated loops. So what I mean by that is that sometimes in the businesses you have different independent processes that need to take place, like again, onboarding. You can have this fully automated, right? So because you build the GPT, it's as easy as just adding the actions capacity to your GPT. So here's what I mean by that. Once you're inside of your custom GPT, let's say you built, like in my case, GPT for vibe coding, right? I can go ahead and give it actions. So if I go to actions, click create new action, and then in here choose like API key, provide API key to my Airtable, to my other like docs, other things that I'm using, then you will be able to build schema in here using AI. So you'll ask AI to build you schema for itself, basically. And then your AI will not only be for like information purposes, not only give you some ideas or text or answers, but it will be able to go through your docs, to go through your Airtable, find the records, update the statuses, do all of the things that it needs to do, because it gets all of the knowledge and it actually being used by your team. There are much more apps that would allow you to build like AI agents and stuff like that for your company. The main ones are probably Na10 and Zapier. That is what would allow you to not only use AI to again generate some stuff, but actually use AI to build things. And then you just empower your team with using these agents, right? You need to ensure that you are the one to test them first, to be honest. If you don't have a dedicated IT person on your company, then you will need to do some diving, because Na10, while it's easy, you would need to like code some stuff. You will need to write some jQuery. You will need to connect it via API to tools that for some founders might not be like comfortable. So that's why start with custom GPT, build that first, see how it can generate results. And once you like get to the limit that it cannot do the stuff that you want, this is where you will start exploring other tools. But the amount of people that I see that have businesses that are online and they have all of this data, but they still are not using any of these features, is just like frightening me. You need to start doing that, because your competitors already do that. So if you will start doing that, you will see something changes. You will see that you are not treating AI as a quick toy, as something quick to like generate some answer or find who killed Kennedy or something like that. You will figure out on how to actually use AI to move your business forward, to actually get answers on the questions that are stopping your business from growing, finding the bottlenecks in your business and fixing them one by one. But it all starts with data and the context. So task your executive assistant with collecting all of this information. So they will go through all of the departments, collect all of the knowledge materials, and populate them for you in your like data vault, and then start playing with custom GPTs. So populate all of the materials in a custom GPT, give it the instructions, and instructions you can also generate using AI, right? So it shouldn't be such a big problem. And for this particular purpose, your instructions should not be like super limiting. So I don't recommend to write like a wall of text. I recommend to give it like pretty subtle instructions, because you want it to be versatile. You want it to be not generic, but you want it to be able to do different things for you right in the beginning. Later on, you will do it department-wise. So that is the beginning. Collect all of the context, collect all of the data, and start with this custom GPT, and you will see how AI changes your business. If you found this content useful, subscribe to this channel, as I'm putting more content that helps founders to scale and buy back their time. And if you are looking for somebody to do it for you, then come to Pareto Talent. We are placing you with highly trained, AI-trained executive assistants that are full-time dedicated to you and saving you your time, so you can focus on something that actually moves the needle in your business. Thank you so much for watching, and have a great day. Bye.